Yeah, YouTube, Basu Tomari here, House of Kemetic Yoga. I was asked why I'm a Rasta man, and I had to keep it real with the individual, let them know it's simple because I'm an African, Ethiopian, Nubian. I'm not no European. Can't work. Um, Slavery is how I got down here, you know. Maybe I've seen knowledge and documentaries with certain knowledge that is explaining to us that Africans were traveling to the Caribbean and the Western world for centuries and for millenniums, and I do believe that, because we've given the world its sciences, its arts, its religions, its crafts, um, its philosophies, etc., etc. So um, we were always creative beings, you know. So don't come and bring. I don't like. I hate it when people come and bring the philosophy that, hey, you a Bahamian, you a Jamaican, you are an black American. The hell with that crap. I ain't none of them. I am straight up African, Ethiopian, Nubian. You know, um, the melanin in me explains that, and even in the Bible somewhere it says, can a leopard change its spots? Can an Ethiopian change his complexion? You know, and like Peter Tosh, the brother that sang with Bob Marley and the Wailers, excellent singer, he sang a song that says, no matter where you come from, as long as you are a black man, you are an African. You are an African. And I ain't running from it. I ain't hiding it. And I ain't denying it. That's who I am. Who don't like that? It's cool. I don't diss the Bahamas, the place they call the Bahamas, because that is where I was born, in this dispensation. And that had to been for a significant reason and purpose. And I hope that I am fulfilling that. I do my best to fulfill that. We all have made mistakes in life, but um, that's the beauty of understanding correction and understanding life. That when you look back and see where you've come from and what you've been through, um, people you have hurt, people that have hurt you, you get to realize that, you know what, this life is about mastering yourself, self mastery, like it is taught in yoga. You know, so in the Bahamas, all the Caribbean countries, all these colonized countries that have been colonized by Europeans, um, in order for us to really and truly know who we are, we have to look at the history or the world history of those places, those nations, prior to European invasion. Because then that will be the only way we can really know what's really going on and who we are. Otherwise, we're all lost and mixed up in the matrix of their um, their web. Um, so, as a Rasta man, my concept of Rasta, I first learned of being a Rasta through the spiritual nature. I would see enough Rasta man when I was a young youth, a little boy, and I would be like, boy, these some bad boys. But I didn't understand what the concept was until, after being in the church and meeting up with a Rasta man, and he was not like those other Rasta man, and and I was like, hey, who you was, you talking this Selassie I talk, and we had some conversations, and biblically, I was like, Brian on that Africa run, that ain't making no sense. That's the last year I run. No, no, it can't be Jesus, boy. Nope, nope. My mommy and my daddy didn't teach me that. But it wasn't until um, one day watching a documentary. The documentary's name is The Lion of Judah. Um, and it began with His Majesty Haile Selassie I at one of his coronation anniversaries. And I noticed all of these people, gathered all world leaders. You see standing in the middle of this of the ballroom, and all the world leaders just rushing him and shaking his hand and bowing. And I started to remember where it says in the Bible that every knee shall bow and every tongue confess. Now I realized that not everyone in the world every human being was there, but the way things run, when we look at things from an esoteric or spiritual aspect, because many things, even the life of Christ, every aspect of life, Muhammad, all the different prophets and so forth, it all came down through some type of parable or prophecy or something like that, which is more on an esoteric level, a spiritual level. And in noticing all of them bowing and shaking his divine majesty's hand, I was like, wow, who this brother is now. I mean, this is far beyond the ghetto youths, them with the picky hair running around, snatching chains and doing foolishness, saying they are Rasta man. This brother is really, then we went into the biblical aspect of it prior to watching the documentary. So all of those things get up, and I understood some things, but I still didn't understand. I was still between there and here, and here and there. But in noticing that day, something sparked in me, especially when the announcer, who was a European, said that who was narrating the documentary. He was saying that all of the world, or the whole world, was in Africa and Ethiopia at that moment for his celebration, his coronation anniversary, and watching other documentaries afterwards on that same thing, same coronation, and the first actual coronation in 1930, November 2nd. You would hear them say that the whole world is present, meaning the leaders of the world. So this is esoteric to show us that the world is present. And from your leaders agree, we see this today, from your leaders agree, sign any documents with any other nations, you as a nation, you are combined, you're committed to that. That's you. You have to go along with the flow, unless you rebel and revolute. And these are the things that the system has set up themselves, especially with all of the military forces to prevent. So, as far as Rastafari is concerned, Haile Selassie the First, the name means powers of the Trinity, the Holy Trinity. Um, the Holy Trinity can be viewed as in many aspects, but we know that the Trinity is really based on the mind, the body, and the spirit, the tripart nature of man, you know. And this is where the divine dwells within us. This is why the great creator, not the great creator, my apologies, the great teacher, Yahshua, or Jesus, the Christ, whatever you want to call him, in the symbolical teachings of the Bible, says that not only says that greater is he that is within you, but he also teaches us that the Trinity, or he doesn't say Trinity, but he teaches us that the powers lies within ourselves, you know. And this is the beauty of understanding what that symbolical teaching is about. It's trying to show us that the divine lives within us, you know. And His Majesty, being from the root and offspring of King David, according to the Ethiopian aspect of teaching and history, that is what I accept. Because to me, Kemet is not just Egypt. Kemet is all of Africa. Kemet is the universe. Kemet is the world, the everything. The whole understanding of who we are, we should understand that as Kemet and protect it, you know. Because at one point, the whole of Africa was known as Ethiopia. All the Indian Sea was known as the Ethiopian Sea. This is history. So, His Majesty, coming in the time that he did, he was born in 1892. It's sometimes some 400 years after Christopher Columbus is said to lost his shoe. Yeah, in the Bahamas we say in 1492 Christopher Columbus lost his shoe. Yeah, so that's exactly 400 years, and that has some biblical references to it also that can be pointed out, for those who read the Bible or those who do spiritual researches. But the whole concept of being Rasta is for self improvement, self mastery. This is why I think I connected so well with Kemetic yoga and why it has um, moved in my life and motivated my life in such a great way, especially in these times, because it has so much aspects of it that is similar to the aspects of being a Rastafarian, a true Rastafarian. And a true Rastafarian is always trying to aspire, knowing that in his imperfection, he can reach perfection. And this is what Kemetic yoga teaches you, that in your imperfection, strive to reach perfection. In other words, strive to connect your trinity, your mind, your body, and spirit, you know, and you become powers of the Holy Trinity. Also, you become like Haile Selassie the first, and it's hard to explain it just in words, you know, but it is the real concept of Africans. We were always a spiritual people. We were always a people that were dealt with the mind, the body, and the spirit. And even today, we see this within ourselves because no matter how they try to hold black people back, African people, no matter how much they try to hold African people back from achieving themselves, they poison us with all type of different things, all type of negative information, negative food, negative employment, all type of different isms and schisms, like Bob Marley would say. Um, but we still have something within our nature, something within our being, which is the divine, if you ask me, um, that that overpowers all of the negativity and lets the positive come shining through like Harameket, like the son of Ra, like the sunshine. Um, so Rastafari is the way, people, meaning that is my way. Peace.